Though 150 beings marched straight off the cliff, not all of these perished. Many were some of Numeron's heartiest creations. The two that were the strongest and came through the fall most intact were Numbi and Nasak the Great. The fall landed Numeron's beings in the trench of Aramus. There Numbi and Nasak set up kingdoms, the twin kingdoms of Numbi and Nasak. This did not go unnoticed by Numeron. He saw that as soon as the surviving beings thought that they were out of the presence of Numeron, they forgot him and his world. They began their own societies. Numeron observed their wickedness and saw that it was great. Numeron was sorry that he ever made any beings at all. He said to himself, "Not only do I have to keep cracking the whip, so to speak, over these beings night and day, but to top it all off, as soon as I am out of their sight, they forget me. At least I still have 150 to keep under my thumb, and believe me, I will. The rest of these I can destroy. I'll cause a catastrophic explosion throughout the trench. That'll show them." But Numeron saw that Numbi was a blameless creature. Numbi was a righteous king. In fact, he was the only being in the trench of Aramus that remembered Numeron. They called it the Trench of Aramus because of the split trees that grow there. The actual name of the trench was the Great Canyon of the Ruins of Desolation No. 5. He tried and tried for 12.5 years to remind the subjects in his modest little kingdom about the past. But since Numeron would not take the time to make himself known, they would not remember him. His subjects thought Numbi was a fine king, but they would not heed his warning that their creator would not tolerate their corruption forever. Nasak the Great, on the other hand, did not think Numbi was a fine king. He considered Numbi and his preaching about Numeron a nuisance. Nasak's kingdom grew every day, filling more and more of the trench. The southern sector extended from the wilderness of Ziniflox along the side of Abyssumperut. Then the south side was from the edge of Hapalanche, and the border went westward and went to the fountain of the waters of Neopithum. And the border went down to the edge of the hill which is in the valley of Bonablink, which is in the valley of Bapabumjoy northward. And it went down to the valley of Daisayunwang, to the slope of the Unjawapung southward, and went down to Bok. And it extended northward, and went to Sabuta, and went to Soisinga, which is opposite the ascent of Intanina, and it went down to the stone of Ru, the son of Lu. And it continued to the side in front of the left-handed Fletchy northward, and went down to the left-handed Fletchy. And the border continued to the side of Hogla-Dogla northward, and the border ended at the northward bay of the Stinky Sea, at the south end of the Heliohogma. Moreover, the Heliohogma was its border on the east side. And the southern border extended from the end of the Stinky Sea eastward. Then the border turned direction from the south to the ascent of Akakak-in-Ziba, and continued to Ziniflox, and its termination was to the south of Radish Barnmold, and it reached Huz, and continued to Itzabiggy, even unto the great river that is called Miffelwimps the Uncrossable, except in a couple of places where it gets slow and shallow, and unto the Early Risers Clubhouse. And the border turned direction from Hay Waite to the brook of Petiggy, and its termination was at the sea.